Bonjour, it's your girl Jynnette the Oracle, and I'm here to give you the tarot forecast for the month of September. This is going to be for the sign of Cancer. Hello, Cancer family. Quick announcements. Well, first, actually, if you have a Cancer rising sign, sun sign, moon sign, north node, this is very much going to be for you, but especially Cancer rising folks. And of course, if you know how to hack your natal chart, if you have a lot of like natal planets in Cancer or, whatever that is, this is going to be relevant. I would also say too, though, because we do have the North Node in Cancer, this may have something for everybody, but we'll see. But right now, this is just going to be about you. I won't go too esoteric for today's read, or this month's read, rather. Quick announcements. The enrollment for the fall semester of the Lightworker Academy is open, and it's going to be open through the end of day September 21st. And then classes will begin on the 23rd. Now, the classes are going to be emailed weekly or bi-weekly, depending on the course material. And they are video recordings, except for one. I may do the Angels class just as the audio recordings, but we'll see. I'm still deciding on that. But the other 3 courses that I'm offering, the tarot course and the 2 astrology courses, those are all video, and those are each an hour long. So yeah, definitely sign up. I will have in the description box below direct links for each course. So you can read about what topics are going to be covered, the dates that you'll be getting the classes. I also am going to be offering office hours for all the students for the fall semester. So those are going to be set dates throughout the time that will be live video sessions with me. So you can bring questions that you have about the material at that time. And yeah, so just take a look, go to the website, sign up, send me an email, let me know what you want to take part in, and we'll do that. And then for those of you who are interested in the Lightworker Incubator, which is the smaller training program that I have that does more intermediate to advanced level training for folks who identify as light workers. That for the time being, until when Spirit tells me to shift the frequency, those sessions only happen twice a year because they're 6-month programs. So the next upcoming session will be in January, but I'll be opening registration and taking applications starting in October sometime, okay? So just have that on the radar if you are interested in participating. And yeah, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel, help me get to 1,000 subscribers, and sign up for my newsletter on my website, inneralchemy.com. All right, let's get into your messages. So I'm actually starting everyone off with Wisdom of the Hidden Realms Oracle cards by Colette Baron-Reid. So let's see, Cancer. What the grounding message is from the Hidden Realms for the Cancerian energy. This should be interesting because Cancer is the mysteries. It's the mother goddess, but like the creator goddess, mother goddess. And it is duality, the light and the dark. And the balance of those two that maintains evolution in life. Okay, so 5 cards came out. Oh no, 4, because one is a description card for the deck. I'm just going to take the top one because that's a lot of cards, but I'm also not surprised that all that energy came out for Cancerians. So this card is the Eyes of Beauty, card number 25. And the words are positive expectations, and clarity. Clarity is also big because, emotions, right? All right, so let's see this, the Eyes of Beauty. The message is, let me put it up here. When the eyes of beauty show up as your ally, they require you to examine your perceptions. Do you see the world as perfect and beautiful? Can you retrace your steps from your past to now and see the perfection in the way reality has been created? Truly, perception is everything. A glass half empty is the same as a glass half full, yet so different according to how it's perceived. The eyes of beauty remind you that if you move forward with conviction, all is well now and always will be. You will see true prosperity as a result. Expect to see beauty and you will attract your highest good. All right, Cancer. So are we needing some practice in seeing the beauty of life? That's an interesting grounding message for Cancers to have. Have you guys been a little ho-hum? Listen, I know it's been a lot for me, and I'm sure you guys have been following, so yes. All right, so your card, your grounding message from Spirit is the Blasted Tower. Tower card, right? So yeah, and if you notice actually in this deck, there's both down at the bottom, there's the Kabbalah tree of life in both the positive and the negative, or the light and the dark version. So that duality is really interesting that that's coming in. But you see the rays of the sun up here in the corner coming through to bring illumination. Most of those rays are actually going towards the darker one, right? So a lot of purification and clearing up of maybe that misperceptions. But there is a little bit happening over here on the right too. So this could be inspiration, opening up, leveling up there as well. But let's see what messages come through for that. Now, when the tower shows up, it is about a breakthrough into something new. Now, a lot of times it's referring to coming into, or the universe basically breaking you out of some kind of pattern, some kind of commitment, some kind of tie, whatever it is, that's been a hindrance for you on some level, but it has to be an important level where, if the universe is coming in to make some kind of shift, but, the universe coming in to remove this thing so that you can catapult into the next stage and be free of the chains that bind you, okay? So while the experience of it may not be all that great, ultimately it is truly for your highest good, and you'll be the better for it down the road. And that may be difficult to see in the beginning, but eventually you will see the benefit of it. Now, on the other side of this would talk about inspiration, new thoughts, new ideas. I do associate this, even though it's a Mars card technically, I associate it a lot with Uranus. So it's insight, it's conception, it's creativity. I actually like seeing that card if I'm dealing with somebody who's more of a creative and they are having like maybe writer's block or have lost their creative edge. If that shows up, then I know that won't be lasting much longer. Like the universe is going to help open up those that creative flow. So I'm getting that you do have to continue leaning into, for lack of a better word, destruction of whatever the old is, because that's being facilitated by the universe, and that looks like it's been going on for a little while. And most likely, it's really been going on since, or it kind of kicked up a notch when we had the new moon solar eclipse in Cancer, July 2nd. So this process of breaking down the Cancer shell almost. But the aspects of the Cancer shell which are not healthy. Because having the shell is healthy because it represents the boundaries, it represents self-sufficiency, resourcefulness, right? Creativity, being at home with yourself, being able to cultivate your own power, your own inner fire. But the other shell, the one that you created versus the shell that you were born with naturally, right? So the shell that you created that has gotten you to where you are now, whatever of that that's not conducive for where you're going next is what is still continuing to be broken down. To be clear, Cancer, everything that got you to this point is not necessarily negative, because there are positive things that are successful that you will continue leaning upon moving forward, okay? So this isn't about having, I literally heard the phrase existential crisis. Like, this isn't that at all. Okay. The Tower is very specific. The only time the Tower I find is like really truly negative is quote unquote negative, i.e. like so much of your life is like being in turmoil, is if you really have not been wanting to make a move on the things that you know you need to make a move on. And for a lot of Cancerians, because, you know, there's that stubborn energy, there's that, you know, things are not that great, but it's also what I know, so it's safe, and I like being safe, so I'm going to stay in this thing, you know. That can come in. So, you know, there might be a few things, but they're going to be very specific things, right? The Tower is like, it's an out of the blue energy. So the how we won't know, but the why we will know. And we won't be surprised by that. We'll be surprised by the how, but we won't be surprised by the why. You're relearning your heart right now, Cancer, and your femininity and your feminine power, regardless of your gender. We're talking about water energy. You are being given an opportunity, in particular for the 6-month cycle, but I think for all of the North Node through Cancer, in all honesty. So we're good. I'm right there with you. We're going to be in this through spring of next year. But I think the quote unquote toughest part is going to be this time right now. Although, if I remember correctly, I think there is going to be another new moon Cancer eclipse in the summer. Lord. All right. Well, y'all. You know, if I'm like this about this, like it's been a journey, and I've been sharing part of my personal journey. But this has been a heart-opening North Node transit to Cancer. I really didn't expect this, and it's hard. But it's a good hard, but it's hard. It's hard. So yeah, but there's a either coming to terms with or return back to your true heart and really listening to how you feel, what's going on, what you need. Really having to be honest, really having to check in with that. Because whatever might be going on externally on the surface is actually not the thing, right? It is actually something deeper. It is something simpler, it is something quieter, but it is something that is even close to home. And the thing is, whatever those defenses and walls were up to protect that inner light, that inner child, however you want to think about it, while it was necessary up to this point for your protection, right? Mars, the blasted tower. Moving forward, it's not needed to have anymore, which means that you are at a certain level of sovereignty where possibly the level of pain, loss, trauma, abuse, etc., that you may have experienced is less likely to occur, just because you're no longer at the mercy of, you know, parents, grandparents, and local community when you were growing up, when you were younger. This is now more of, you are in a, this is coming across as very adult energy, but it's a consideration of that inner light and knowing that you don't have to choose between the two. But it's going to be hard to go through this tower energy or continue, because I don't think this is actually just starting. Now, for those where you haven't yet had this tower energy, then that will be kicking off right now. I am going to get some clarification though. For those who've already been going through this process, you will continue to have your heart being healed for this month. So continue to lean into the softness and the sweetness of the heart space. Don't rush the process, because Virgo is very complementary for Cancer energy and helping to ground and integrate. Okay, so again, take your time. Let's get some clarification on this tower additional. Because again, I feel for some of you, the universe is doing that versus versus you engaging with it. So to clarify, I got the Princess of Swords, which is literally about defending what is true. This princess is defending the altar, defending what is sacred, literally the heart, Ace of Cups. And then we have the Cancer card here at the bottom. So that's what this is about. So more and more of the defenses are going to get chipped away. But this is good because it's not only healing the heart, but it's also reactivating. So you have a new heart. So you're able to step more into the true nature of the Cancerian energy. Very nice. Okay. So that's going to be the thing for this month. All right. That shouldn't be a surprise. You guys probably already had a sense about that, because you're deeply intuitive, right? Okay. So let's get into money. So for money for you, we have 6 of Cups and 6 of Pentacles. Talk about balance. So this month you will be, you know, because 6 is a balance, but it also is a expansive energy. Okay, it's double 3. 3 is expansion and growth, so 6 is double. So that money will definitely be looking good, and you'll be feeling much more secure. If you haven't been, or if things have already been, well, that will continue through this month. Okay, so there wouldn't be any concerns about money if it has been well. Like I wouldn't. There's no sense that things are going to like drop off. Like it's going to still continue to be fine. Not necessarily like a bunch of growth all of a sudden, but like it's fine. And if things haven't been great, then you will find that they get back to a great place this month, or at least by the end of the month. Like the tables will be turning with that energy. More than likely, you already start to feel it, because this is a September reading, but the bulk of September is Virgo energy, and we started Virgo, you know, August 22nd or somewhere around there. So that might have already started shifting for you, but regardless, you get it. And yeah, if you do have investments, if you've been working on savings and things like that, like that's all fine and dandy. Like it's double 6, like it's fine. Everything's good with money. So not to gloss over that, because money is important to Cancer as a cardinal sign, but also, Cancer and Capricorn are on that axis of uh, business and accomplishment and financial success and things, as well as Taurus and Scorpio. But I think this is important to see that money is going to be good, like needs and desires will be taken care of in a reasonable manner, of course, because there's going to be so much around the heart and where you're vulnerable. So I would say, don't be concerned too much about things falling apart because you might be moving slower than you're used to as a cardinal sign, or if you're not burning the midnight oil like you would like to, it's not going to be messing up your manifestation. Or your, ambitions or objectives. Things will remain stable. Okay. And also, whatever you are investing your money into, it is good. So investment could be investment into business, putting more money away for savings, like whatever's not giving immediate gratification, that in that regard, in terms of working with your money, that energy is fine. Okay, so for relationships, we have Queen of Cups, which is the Cancer card, and Ace of Pentacles. For those of you who are single and looking, or actually dating folks, you're in your prime right now. Okay, and I'm hearing the phrase queen on your throne, whether, again, regardless of how you identify gender-wise. So even though all of this heart stuff is happening for you, Cancer, the vibe I'm getting from this, sorry, actually, I'm not sorry, but the vibe I'm getting for this is that you know what your worth is, you know what you bring to the table, and you are not stepping down off of this throne. And honestly, I think that actually is a consequence of this Tower energy. So if you're not already in that space, like if the Tower aspects of breaking down the defenses hasn't started happening yet, then that's what's going to be occurring this month. And this will be the outcome. You'll be feeling really like this Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is still soft, still emotionally available, but there's not any, when the Queen of Cups is healthy, there's not any overextending of her energy or her emotional reservoir, because she understands the importance of give and take. And she's concerned, or priorities for her are not just about material stability, but also emotional stability and emotional care and nurturance. And so if a person that you are dealing with, or if you're jumping back into the dating game, isn't sitting in that emotionally intelligent space, you really don't have, you're really not going to have the interest in them. And I also see with that, again, this healthier version, which I think is really what's emerging, is going to be helping you stay in that place and not feel guilty about it. Now, this may mean actually that you don't necessarily meet somebody that meets your standard, but I think that's okay. Because the feeling that I'm getting is that you're at peace with yourself. You're no longer at war, because the defenses that you created have either been torn down or they're continuing to be torn down, and there is this continual integration, because the standards that's being held by this Queen of Cups is the standard of the soul, the heart space, which is literally being healed. And again, that Tower only comes in when there's actually been something that's been going on for a long time that has been a hindrance. So you've had your lessons around love, so you're good. For those of you who are in committed partnerships, which obviously could include marriage, oh, one last thing for the single/dating folks. The door is open for new love in a new relationship. The potential is there, but it's just beginning, of course, because it's Ace of Pentacles. So I think with this Tower and all this heart energy, I don't think you're really pressed about if something works or doesn't work this month, because you understand, you're tapped into that wisdom. But definitely from here on out, the prospects are going to be different because the standard is different, and you're living from a place of integrity for your inner heart space, the true space, not the external emotional, but the true soul heart space. So that energy in its own is going to change your life. And that's going to affect, this process that's happening with you, Cancer, is actually, it's really going to affect all of your life in a positive way. And in a big way, actually. So if marriage or, just deep committed partnership is something that you want, that is something that is there for the future for you. And somebody may actually come in sooner rather than later. This, if it is going to happen this month, a good potential partner, it would be once we get into Libra season. So once Saturn goes direct and then we shift into the autumn equinox and moving forward, it would most likely be then. If that's a new person, it could be a new person if it's somebody that you are talking to or dating at the beginning of the month, then there is a possibility that they could shift into that later. But again, it's going to depend on your standard. And as long as you hold that standard, then they can. If they have it in them, if they don't, they'll remove themselves. Like, you don't. This reading should not be this petty. They'll get removed, because like with the Tower here, this isn't the kind of energy where like something that's not working is going to stay around for a long time, because Tower card has no chill. So if it's a no from the universe, like it's just going to be a no. You won't even have to worry about it. And I love that, because the universe is showing up like this Mars energy, like it's your guardian protector. So it's going to be going through the checks and balances and seeing what's up. And if it's not up to speed, I'm for that life. Come through, universe. All right. For those of you who are in committed partnerships and or married, there is some new beginning here for the two of you. Like the relationship is good and solid. There's definitely not anything negative that I'm picking up there. Like emotionally, you guys are good. Finances are good. Like you're solid. So if you are, say you've been dating for a long time and you are deciding to move in together, like maybe that's the next step, or there might be a proposal, or you guys might be getting married, or you might decide to buy a house. Like whatever that next step is, the door is open for the new, as it relates to some bigger commitment or some new thing that the two of you want to work on. So this is good timing for that new stuff. If there's a question about if you're ready, you're ready. It's fine. The conditions are good. everything's solid. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think there's any worries, honestly, if you are already in a committed partnership. So that's really nice. Now, with you going through this process of the Tower, it's also going to bring a brand new you to the relationship, and you can trust in the strength of the relationship to remain steady while you transform. So don't get in your head about like, if you're still going to be the person that your partner married. Like, no, you're not going to be the same person. Neither are they, because change is the thing. But it doesn't, it's not fracturing the bond of the two of you. It's strong. So that's really beautiful. Okay. It's really nice, especially because the reading I did for Taurus was like, ooh, there was some drama. Not for everybody, but there was definitely some drama for like a segment of the population. So I'm glad to see with Cancer, this energy is looking really positive and stable. Okay, so for work, we have 7 of Wands. And looky here, Empress, you got the Goddess. Which is also probably why this money energy is so good, because, yeah. And the 7 of Wands is another Mars card. So there's a lot of protection of what has been hard earned and expansion and growth that will be unfolding, because this is, of course, Venus energy. Venus is going to be shifting into Libra. Venus is in Virgo right now, that earth energy. So that's some great money energy. But Venus comes home to Libra. So she's going to be, yeah, living her life at that point. So that should feel really good as well. If you do work for someone else, with that 7 of Wands there, of course, like hold your ground, hold the higher moral ground, stay away from the fray if there is any kind of negative stuff happening, like with coworkers, gossipy energy, things like that. Like, you don't need to be involved, especially if there is an opportunity for you to be promoted, or if you're being favored by some of the higher ups. Like, let haters hate, they'll be all right. But you don't come down off your throne. I mean, this Queen of Cups is like hella strong right now to me. You don't come down off your throne. And we got the Empress here. So if this is a boss, like, they see your worth and they are acknowledging it, and they're awarding you properly and fairly because of it. And they're a good mentor as well too. So I really like this. This also could mean that you are really shining in the work that you do, which again would make sense with that 7 of Wands, because it already has victory energy in it. If you work for yourself, it's good energy. You're at the top of your game. So again, even though you're going through all this internal stuff, it's not really shaking the other areas of your life. So I know that might be a little weird for you, Cancer, because a lot of times what's going on internally does directly reflect externally, but that's not the case this time. And I think that's because you have a better handle now and mastery to maintain the things that you know you need to maintain, and also rest when you need to rest. But continue to allow your heart to heal. Continue to allow whatever needs to be released. Okay? Because not only is the heart being healed, but it's also shifting your mindset and your belief systems, which is really what is going to shift how you create and manifest. And that is definitely looking up. That's going to be opening up big, but I don't think that's going to be necessarily happening this month. It's still stay in the work. This might actually continue through Scorpio season, to be honest. And the reason I say that is because I know Venus started that cycle back in October last year when she had her retrograde. So we'll be coming back into Venus and Scorpio energy next month. So there may be some residual energy there that's getting closed off. Let me just clarify it real quick. This Empress, all right, that's too many cards. Although the Tower just showed itself again. And then we'll go week by week real quick. So we got 7 of Swords. What's that about? I mean, Empress can talk about conflict if there was a bunch of queens, but there's only one queen. Oh, 6 of Wands. So wise counsel. So yeah, I am getting that vibe again. Like if things are a little tricky at the job that you are, like if there's talk about layoffs or, you know, folks going for a position and there's competition or whatever it is, whoever it is that you feel comfortable with there, I think they have your back. They're still going to be looking out for themselves, but, you know, take into account their what's the word? Their counsel about whatever's going on. Okay, so let's go week by week real quick just to see the energy. So each week of September for Cancer. That's too many cards. Eight of Wands, or sorry, 8 of Swords, 2 of Wands. Yeah, that's that mental stress. But you do come to a crossroads with that 2 of Wands in week 2. So maybe it's a decision that you've been stressing about that you need to make and you finally make it during that week, but we'll see when I clarify. Okay, so we got the Moon 3rd week. And that's, of course, when we do have the full moon and when we shift into autumn equinox. So that's when there's going to be a dominance of night energy versus day, which is actually a really yummy time for Cancer. It's going to increase your intuitive abilities and help you get really, really clear in your vibe. And of course, the moon is your ruler, so I'm glad that came out. Just a single card, please, for the final week of September. I almost said March, so maybe probably, well, yeah, obviously March was when we had the spring equinox, so there is something that would be closing out for you. So whatever you were dealing with around that time, that was actually, I believe, when we had that choice point. I believe that Oracle Talks might have been like the new moon in Aries or something like that. Okay, so final card is the Queen of Swords, which is actually Libra. Interesting. Got Queen of Cups on the bottom. All right, so let's clarify the 8 of Swords for week 1. What is this potentially mental stress about? Queen of Cups, your energy. So yeah, I think it's, again, it's still that vibe of like you just being unsettled within yourself just because of the transformation that's happening within. But I think the thing that will help you is noticing what emotions are really the true emotions versus what is being whipped up by the mind, and being able to just to discern the difference between those two, because those are 2 very different things. Your mind can create a lot of emotions because emotions is going to go where the mind goes. But our feelings have a deeper intelligence, and there's usually something, or there can be something else going on there. For week 2, with the 2 of Wands, we have Ace of Swords, Justice, and 3 of Swords. Okay, so yeah, it's So that first week may still be a little wobbly, but by the time you get into the second week, that clarity that like I was literally just speaking about, it comes through as you continue going through this process of the heart healing. Okay. Third week. Clarification is Queen of Pentacles and Two of Pentacles. So another dual energy, but I like that the Queen of Pentacles came out because this is something about, okay, so I'm hearing specifically trusting your intuition about whatever offers are being presented to you. So whether this is work stuff, money stuff, love stuff, whatever that is, but it needs to be a very grounded decision because you are clear now in your heart space about what you're cool with and what you're not because you've gone through that process in the first 2 weeks. Now you're here at the earth energy. And again, it will make sense with the moon being full at this time and shifting into autumn equinox. I think you're going to be very much in your power at this point. So I think you'll be able to make an appropriate decision about whatever is being offered to you, if you're going to take it or not, and see how it correlates to long-term success. Okay, last week, Queen of Swords. Knight of Pentacles moving forward in a nice steady way on the path of success. So yeah, it looks like for the bulk of you all, or us all, things will be shifting forward in a really solid way. Okay. So we're going to close with a card from the Enchanted Map Oracle card deck. So for Cancer, I'm really happy to see this, Cancer. I know this energy is continuing to be tough, but it looks like externally everything is good. And it's just the last little bits. Last little bit of scaffolding being replaced or just totally taken down because the building is there. The Libra season, I mean, honestly, since the Empress has shown up, you may actually really start feeling that Knight of Pentacles energy that came at the bottom happening as soon as that. I don't remember what date that is, but I feel it's somewhat earlier in the month. It might be before the full moon. The full moon, I think, is on the 13th, so that's pretty early in the month. We don't actually have the autumn equinox until the 23rd, when the Lightworker Academy fall semester starts. Shameless plug. All right, let's see if it might be another stack that comes out, but I'm only going to take the top card because I really want to get through 2 more readings today before I lose the light. We'll see. Okay, you did get multiple cards, but I'm going to just take the top one, number 35, education. All right, so life is filled with lessons. Be teachable. Wisdom comes from participating in life, not just reading about it. This card suggests that you might not have enough knowledge about what you seek, the direction to take, your circumstances, or the nature of your inquiry. Important information is coming. Now is the time to go to school, ask a person who might know more than you, or find a teacher or a course of study so that you can more easily understand what the next right action must be. Sometimes life unexpectedly sends you to an unfamiliar school and you must learn by experience. Now is the time to be teachable, open to changing your preconceived notions. Be a student and be willing to state the most powerful mantra of all. I don't know yet. Yeah. Awesome. Oh, interesting. The other card that came out was protecting treasure. I will actually read this for y'all. And then I'm going to bounce because this has been a long reading. They've actually all been long so far. You are always protected and divinely directed. Although this is a time of great risk, know that at a fundamental level, you are able to move forward safely and securely. The proverbial nest egg is safe and sound, no matter the fluctuations in the world. Guardian angels and other guides are whispering to you, making you aware of their protective presence. Your loyalty is an important theme now. Nurture that which you hold dear. This is a good time to strengthen bonds of friendship and ensure their integrity. If you feel tested right now, know that a true and loyal heart always achieves its aim. Take refuge under an angel's wing. You are not alone and have no need to fear. Embrace your courage. All right, dear Cancer, I hope that you enjoyed. If you'd like to book a session, go to my website, inneralchemy.com. Check out the description box below when all this is uploaded to get the links for all the classes. I love you guys so much and see you next time.